As always, it's always exciting to come up with something new that is a blessing to everybody. I believe a blessing to everybody. And we grow together, we build ourselves together, and above all, we make Jesus smile. That is the essence of all this. There's something that I have been thinking about of recent: investment. The talk around town is investment. Invest in your financial future, invest in your family, invest in ABCD, because we all know that when you invest, you expect the best out of something. A person who does not invest and thinks they're going to achieve much is wasting a lot of time. So, by the end of this talk, I will ask you, where do you lie? Are you an investor? Are you, and or if you have been an investor, just see the results out of investment, whether big or small. What do you see out of all this? The essence and importance of investing is that you reach a point in time and look back and just smile and say, oh, I was able to let this down, I was able to commit to this and to move on the other. Now, the question I want to ask us today is, how much have you invested in God's purpose for your life? Okay, financially you've invested. Now you're going to tell me, oh, I pay my tithe every day, I do ABCD. That's not what I'm really looking at. The question is, how much have you invested in God's purpose for your life? Because not all of us have the money to invest. So you are not going to say because so and so has no money, then they haven't invested. But like any investment class, you realize that there are key things that you have to pick up on. There's key commitments that you have to make and probably the learnings you're going to pick from here and there and everywhere. And for many times, you find that people actually form investment clubs. So, in full investing in God's purpose in your life, to what extent would you say that, wow, I did what God wanted me to do? That's something you need to think about. When you have that skill that is a blessing to others, how much have you invested in that skill to ensure that it sends out and the impact that it needs to send out? Or are you the kind of person who says, oh, I am a singer, I have the best voice, and you just sit back and wait for your voice to do everything? The things that you're going to have to put in play if you were to see the fruits of an investment. Now, I asked you the question, how much have you invested in God's purpose for your life? I love the story of King David. There's this particular, just for us to put it into context and appreciate, the Bible says that when David came to fight Goliath, King Saul told him, please try on this armor, you will need it for the fight and all that. But David is like, this does not fit me up. I will actually make Israel lose if I went in this kind of outfit. And David pulled out what he was used to, that was the sling and the stone. And that's what he used to hit at Goliath. But the thing I want is this, fast forward. We are looking at a period in time when the Bible says that David became an expert in the use of the sword. He grew up his skill. And I don't think he just did that by sitting back and saying, hey, I am the king. No. He went to practice how to use the sword because as king, it was required of him to learn how to use a sword. He was not going to continue using the stone all his life. Now, many of us stick into something because we think it is what has brought us further. But if you appreciate the issue of investment requires you to keep learning new things, because every season that God carries you into or every assignment, you realize that the skill that got you to that level may not be the skill you need to continue to get to another level. Okay, for example, let's use a case in your place of work. You entered as an entry officer and you did whatever you had to do, but then you got promoted. Now, under that new promotion assignment, you are not going to use the papers you used at the entry level to get to another level. You need a new skill, but how does that skill come about? It needs you to invest. Probably going back to school. Maybe you sit in meetings to listen up, or you inquire here and there. But the whole thing about it is that you are taking time to invest in building that which you're into. Now, I'll ask you that question. How much have you invested in fulfilling God's purpose in your life. But now, also on this, you cannot know how much or you not know what to invest unless you know what that purpose is, isn't it? You are not going to go investing in something when you do not know what exactly it is or what you're going to achieve. You need to know what the end result of that is or what is in there for you. So, what is God's purpose for your life? What is it that God has put you in play to do? But recall, we said last time that God's purpose is one, but the assignments are different. So, in that assignment for your life, what is it that you as an individual have done to make sure that you accomplish that purpose? You bring a smile onto God's face. In that assignment, what investment have you put in play to ensure that the best of yourself comes out of it, that you are a blessing to somebody? I leave that as a reflection for you. So that you can go back and think, I invest in my family, I invest in my business, I invest in this, my time and all that. But in this specific place God has called you to be, your workplace, on the pulpit to preach, in the teaching, wherever it is, how much have you invested? When you look back, do you think that there is something beautiful you have done that will make the master smile? I don't know. It's something that you need to think about. I am so hoping that every day of my life I can invest, because I guarantee you, if you look around town, people who invest big and big, people who invest small are the ones who complain and say investment is not working. But anyway, either way, there are those who start small and they grow big. So whatever your capacity fits, look through your schedule and think, how much have I invested in fulfilling God's purpose for my life? God bless you. Remember to share, remember to subscribe, to tell a friend, so that together we can build a generation that impacts another generation. Jesus revealed, Jesus glorified.